A very good morning to you as you join us on Aso Morning this beautiful day. My name is Dr. Joy Asoye, and welcome back once again from that break. We'll just jumpstart the newspaper review segment with the Daily Independent newspaper, where it's taking us to the Southeast. It says, Southeast reps demand JAMB registrar's resignation, insists on exam cancellation, suspension of ICT officials. That's still on the UTME saga, where over 300,000 students got the wrong result right there. But the registrar's emotional apology does not seem to have augured well with certain people who believe he should outrightly resign, he should be sacked. They are calling for his head. We're also hearing a lot of people say outright cancellation, let's start all over again and get it right this time. Maybe we're not ready for the computer-based test. Maybe we should do what we always did and all that. But it once again exposed what happens in our examination sector, where we thought we had it all covered. You will never have guessed. We can somehow Nigerians gave ourselves a break when these glitches are in our electoral process, but not when it affects children's future. So yes, a lot of people are asking for the cancellation of that exam altogether. Moving on from the Daily Independent newspaper, Nigeria's capital market key to achieving $1 trillion economy. Edun is saying, I am not desperate for any position. My interest is fighting hunger. I am not desperate for any position. My interest is fighting hunger. That's coming from the Labour Party presidential candidates during the 2023 general elections. He's not desperate for any position. His interest is to fight hunger. Okay. Natasha petitions police. AGF accuses Akpabio Duru of cyber stalking. CJN laments lingering delays in trial processes. Federal government, Lagos government asks Nigerians to patronize local goods. Federal government, Lagos government asks Nigeria to patronize local goods. I think Nigerians will start patronizing local goods when they see that the shoes our public office holders are wearing are from Aba or from local manufacturers, and not flaunt the Italian shoes and all the international designers in our faces and turn around to say Nigerians should patronize local goods. I think it should come from the top. We need to see our leaders charge this course, and then you will see Nigerians begin to have the trust for locally manufactured goods. And because we do not have that patronage necessary, there's so much shocks that affects local manufacturers. Until we put our feet down, enhance and better the environment that these manufacturers work on, where would you see local manufactured goods to patronize? If every Nigerian today decides to wear shoes manufactured from Nigeria, would we have enough? So we need to enhance them. There's so much you need to do first before you come out to insist that we should patronize local goods. We had mentioned it here on the show some time ago, where indeed there are legitimate concerns that Nigerians have when patronizing. Is it from our food and drug sector? Is it clothing? There's so much we need to do. Quality control that needs to be done. The Standard Organization of Nigeria has to do a lot to ensure that Nigerians do not feel so change. Sometimes you go patronize foreign-made goods because you're sure of standards. So a lot has to be done. But moving away from that story, NIDA saves over 300 billion naira from clearing IT projects on MDAs. Edo Deputy Speaker resigns, cites equity integrity. Edo Deputy Speaker resigns, cites equity integrity. To read more of that story, you go to page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper, and at the footer of this newspaper it says Nigeria may miss 70% broadband penetration target this year. Federal government set to roll out $2 billion fiber optic infrastructure by the fourth quarter. Federal government set to roll out $2 billion fiber optic infrastructure by this fourth quarter. Well, we may miss the 70% broadband penetration. We still have the issues with broadband penetration. A lot of Nigerians are still not covered, which is unfortunate in this 21st century, where we should not be discussing broadband penetration, but absolutely be talking about enhancing what is already available. But we could sit in Abuja and cities around Nigeria and not understand what's happening. Some of us, when we go to certain villages, we do not even have network. In certain communities, not even very far from city capital, but we do not have, there's no broadband penetration there, there's no availability of network. And you ask yourself, with the energies, and in a country that wants to be serious about tech development, I mean, so much really has to be done. To the Guardian newspaper we go to this morning, as the Guardian is spotlighting the Southwest. It says, bandit herders invasion puts 40% of region's food production at risk. That's in the Southwest. Bandit herders invasion puts 40% of region's food production at risk. That's talking about security right there, right under the masthead of the Guardian newspaper. El-Rufai alleges corruption among judges, lawyers, seeks return of public trust. El-Rufai alleges corruption among judges, lawyers, seeks return of public trust. Your mandatory voting proposal unconstitutional, Falana tells the National Assembly. Remember, we had that conversation right here where the House of Rep members were suggesting, or rather proposing, that's the proper word in legislative terms, proposing proposing punitive measures for non-voters. If you are found not voting, even as eligible voter, you would be fined, I think, 100,000 naira or 3 months in jail. That was the funniest thing I have read or listened to in a while. It almost seems as if you do not know what to do. The awareness that's necessary, the information that we should hammer on, and the trust. The Nigerians need to trust you enough, to trust the process enough, and those are things that have to be fixed. And you will see people rush to vote. If you know that your vote counts, you won't need to tell anyone. Everybody will feel responsible for who emerges leader. But you see where we are now, and instead of tackling the fundamental issues and challenges, we are more interested in making punitive measures on non-voters, and it's a constitutional right. Maybe it's their civil rights to vote, but it is not. You cannot compel individuals to vote. But that's what we are recording right there. But it will be a funny one. It would be nice to have that conversation with the person who proposed that bill. Navy destroys 468 illegal refineries as experts profile oil theft solution. U.S. offers $10 million bounty for information on Hezbollah's financial networks. 800 killed, 10 years as communal conflict threatens Niger Delta's economy. Benue Assembly Speaker decries reps summon advocates training for lawmakers. It was established that it is not constitutionally also in their place, their mandate to summon to summon the governor or any governor whatsoever. And the lawmakers in Benue State are asking that the federal lawmakers go through some training. I mean, they already do go through the rigorous training before they are inaugurated. So I'm not sure. I think they already know that. I mean, the State House of Assembly members already know that, and this is just one of those below the belt yab, like in local parlors. 2027 will be set to declare presidential bid as Atiku explores ADC alliance. Atiku is still on it, trying to ensure his coalition bid. Atiku has been out and telling you that even though he does not have support of his own political party members for this coalition, he's going on, and it's going to work. Atiku has been contesting aiming towards the presidency since 1993. Yes, since 1993, he became vice president in that time. However, he has been unable to finally emerge president, and he doesn't seem to stay back. While a lot of people admire his resilience and his tenaciousness and all of that, others are saying, "Oga, rest. Haven't you done enough? Maybe Nigerians just do not want you." But I like that he's out there. He's not listening to anyone. It's a dream he has, and he's pushing. He has not declared intentions for 2027 so far. Yet, speculations are rife. Is he going to support someone? Is he going to be the spearheading? And that Atiku Obi alliance that is being speculated recently, nobody really knows where it's coming from. They have tried it before. It didn't work. What's going to be different this time? Obi seemed to be a good contender. Would he collapse his entire structure and merge with that of Atiku? Do Nigerians trust Atiku enough? So much is being said right there. Not to mention, during the just concluded general elections, it was really funny. It was really funny because both spokespersons from both sides were really out at each other's necks. And you ask yourself, these are politicians that really do not have these personal grudges. So why heat up the politics? Because an average Nigerian does not understand that this is just politics. They take it really personally. It's something we should really look at and address before the 2027 elections. Let's have a better environment, a more sane environment in our campaigning. It doesn't have to be what I often call below the belt. You could have your campaign without that of calumny. You don't have to necessarily be abusive. We've seen several instances where it almost seems as if you are fighting, and you are so passionate against, in hate, unfortunately, against your opponent. Really, really sad turnout of events right there. Okay, so other stories still on the Guardian newspaper. Okay, Akpoti Odogan petitions IGP. We had taken that story, but that'll be the last one. We move on now to the Nigerian News Direct newspaper. Asu, Sanu, Nasu fight dirty over 50 billion naira and allowances allocation. Asu, Sanu, Nasu fight dirty over 50 billion naira and allowances allocation. Above the nameplate of the Nigerian News Direct, Lagos secures $22 million 2025 DBN awards. Okay, there's so much packed here. Lagos secures $22 million for fiber rollout, rehabilitate over 1,100 roads in 2 years. Let me take that again and read it better. Lagos secures $22 million for fiber rollout, rehabilitate over 1,100 roads in 2 years. Okay, that's it for that story. Federal government surpasses targets, trains 117,000 Nigerians in digital skills. We have Kwara State unveils West Africa's tallest flag pole. Kwara State unveils West Africa's tallest flag pole. I guess congratulations. Okay, finally, my coalition 2027, my coalition for Nigerians, not for power sharing. Peter Obi denies Atiku vice president agreement. Remember, I told you the speculations were rife about Peter Obi's alliance with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and Nigerians are asking, what are you going to do differently now? What are you going to do that would show in some way that you are more serious? Nigerians love that alliance. But according to the Nigerian News Direct newspaper this morning, Peter Obi has denied that coalition. But with that, we move on to the Punch newspaper this morning. Tinubu's 2027 bid. 2027 bid. That's what the Punch is leading with. It says APC caught opposition governors with high stakes offers. APC caught opposition governors with high stakes offers. Governors offered ministerial appointments, return tickets to nominate successor National Assembly members, others. Governors offered ministerial appointments, return tickets to nominate successors, National Assembly, others. That negotiations are already being made, according to the Punch newspaper, towards President Tinubu's 2027 bid. Promises are being made. Some governors are offered return tickets for their support. They are offered nomination as a successor. They have the ability to nominate their successor. I think that's what it means. Ability to nominate National Assembly members that will emerge. Ministerial appointments should you be in your second tenure. Interesting times. But moving away from that, 120 suspected Lagos internet fraudsters to face a trial. And above the masthead there we have marketers import 436 billion naira petrol amid row with Dangote. 436 billion naira petrol amid row with Dangote. Global health at risk as funding crisis hits WHO. Global health at risk as funding crisis hits WHO. OPS presses for rate cut as MPC convenes today. Ibadan, Ogbomoso monarchs reject Alaafin as permanent court chair. Nigerian teenagers' corpse recovered from Ireland River. Remember that that unfortunate mishap that happened. Oyebanji's second term endorsement divides Ekiti APC. Oyebanji's second term endorsement divides Ekiti APC. And that's it for the Punch newspaper. We move on quickly to the Daily Times newspaper this morning. The Daily Times has as its lead story 2027. No position yet on sharing formula between Atiku Obi, obedient movement. You know, the obedient movement is quite peculiar. And so when you hear obedient movement, you're not sure who's saying this. There's no particular spokesperson for the obedient movement. So Daily Times, who is the obedient movement? But according to the Daily Times, what he's saying here is no opposition yet on sharing formula between Atiku and Obi. These are those stories that that made the speculation really rife. The speculation about the Obi-Atiku alliance, although Obi has rejected it. Okay, we have other stories here. Terrorism, stop linking us, Nnamdi Kanu, to Simon Ekpa. IPOP tells the DSS. How very convenient, right? Terrorism, stop linking us, Nnamdi Kanu, to Simon Ekpa. IPOP tells the DSS. So who is Simon Ekpa? Who is Nnamdi Kanu? Who remembers before Nnamdi Kanu was incarcerated, is that the word, was charged, rather, it was alleged that the leadership went at that time to Simon Ekpa. But I think it's time to disassociate from him because of the the court cases that are going on and their alleged utterances. Nobody wants to be attached to all of that. Tinubu flags off sports festival, insists revived NSC will end power play. Southeast reps demand JAMB registers resignation. EFCC arrests 420 internet fraudsters in Lagos. We took that story. Cancer touches us all. Biden speaks after diagnosis. According to his team, it was announced recently that he was down with cancer after some serious urinary issues he had been having. It was confirmed that he had a very I think the medical, was it rapid growing cancer? I think that was what was said there. But doctors are very, at this moment, very positive that there's a hormonal, some hormonal treatment that will tackle this cancer. So our heart goes out to him and his family, hoping that he beats this. It's always scary when you hear diagnoses around cancer, because of the damage it has done, the harm it has done, how fatal it sometimes gets for several families. Very often, there's always that one family that has had a cancer patient. It's unfortunate, but we wish him speedy recovery. We hope that what the doctors said about some hormonal treatment would indeed work, and we'll see him hale and hearty. To the Matrix newspaper we go this morning. The Matrix newspaper is talking about the National Assembly's compulsory voting bill as it wobbles. Speaker colleagues should know that it is constitutionally invalid, Falana is saying. Apokoba, voters' apathy stems from exclusion, unfulfilled promises, not lack of civic responsibility. That's something we had mentioned earlier. Dangote pledges petrol price stability despite rising crude oil prices. 2027, my Rome visit, not political. Obi opens up, entirely baseless, imaginary to the authors. Obedient movement shoots down vice president's role rumor. Entirely baseless, they say. 2027, Wike rules out presidential bid, won't contest against Tinubu. Wike would not contest against Tinubu. That's another story that was rife sometime last week, where a lot of Nigerians were all over the place talking about how the FCT minister, whose presidential bid was not hidden. I mean, he contested. He wanted to clinch the ticket. He contested primaries, wanted to clinch the ticket before he was zoned to the north, or he was left open, I think. Well, Lagos to enforce full ban on single-use plastic from July 1st. Lagos has been doing a lot when it comes to the fight against plastics in the state, ensuring that there will be no such thing as single-use plastics. And I think they also had a fine for anyone. Is it a fine, or you just have to pay more if you want to purchase plastics? If you want plastic, it's no longer complimentary. Let me bring it home. You know how you go to a store and you want to purchase goods? Well, if you want it in a polythene, leather, nylon, you will pay for that leather. It's no longer complimentary. Gone are the days when, as long as you buy, it's the seller's job to put it in. Now you pay for it, so that you can bring your baskets to buy. You could use, you could recycle some of your baggings or shop baggings, so just so that you don't have to purchase so much and leave it to clog up our waterways and affect our aquatic animals. Sometimes when you read through and see what's going on, especially in Lagos, a lot of cleanup does happen. However, it's not enough. But again, it's a good move. Single-use plastic, to enforce full ban on single-use plastic. Let's see how we can recycle. As you're going to your market, go with your bags, use them and use them again, clean them and use them again. You really do not need all those plastics. EFCC arrest, okay, we have taken that story. 120 internet fraudsters just in Lagos. I don't make music for aesthetics, Kiss Daniel is saying, and that's true. I love Kiss Daniel. He doesn't make music for aesthetics. I do enjoy his music. After missing Pope Leo's inauguration, Trump invites pontiff to White House. That's Trump for you. 2025 Ballon d'Or ceremony is set for September 22nd in Paris. And that's it for the Matrix newspaper. We quickly move on to the blueprint. It says federal government unveils $2 billion fiber infrastructure. Digital economy attracts $191 million foreign direct investment. And the riders here says sector contributes to GDP to rise from 16% to 22%. Bosun is saying how we seek to grow $1 trillion economy. Bagodu is saying that. Below the masthead of the blueprint newspaper, NACON inspects feeding arrangements in Maka. NFF boss Goso emerges Wafu B president. 2027 Ohaneze, Southeast stakeholders endorse Tinubu for second term. We never understood magnitude of our refinery, Dangote is saying. In spite of all of that, he never understood the magnitude of the refinery. And the writers under that story says our dependence on oil making our economy vulnerable. Abbas is saying, Abbas I think is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. With that, we move on now to the first newspaper. Supreme Court slams Fidelity Bank with 225.3 billion naira fine over property scandal. Supreme Court slams Fidelity Bank with 225.3 billion naira fine over property scandal. Southeast reps call for Oloyede's resignation over jam glitches. Okay, speak your language to your children, Shoyinka tells Africans. That's true. Peter Obi, I'm not desperate for power, I'm fighting for hunger and corruption. EFCC arrests, okay, we have taken that story, arrest 120 suspected internet fraudsters in Lagos State. Lagos government shuts down Cubana Chief Priest restaurant. I read that story. I think it was over violations around environmental violations rather. Power crisis deepens. Federal government's unpaid electricity bills hit 800 billion naira. That's coming from the Senate. Veteran actress Jumoke George's trafficked daughter returns to Nigeria. That was good to see. We saw that yesterday. There were pictures all over the place with Abike Dabiri. It was good to see. We really celebrate that. It's unfortunate that in this age and time we're still recording trafficking of young girls. I hope it does come to an end. Fresh horror as bandits kill 19 in Katsina, set home ablaze. Fresh horror as bandits kill 19 in Katsina, set home ablaze. And that is the much we can take on today's edition of the newspaper review segment. Next will be an interview we're going to have to spotlight what's going on in the music industry. But stay with us, we'll be right back.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greener solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our field, lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart
Welcome back from that. Our podcast now is on the entertainment industry. Nigeria's entertainment has made Africa proud, where especially the music industry has been very vibrant. We've been recording several Grammys and international recognition. And today in the studio to discuss thriving in the Nigerian entertainment industry, the challenges and the perks really is Chiros. Chiros is a music artist. She's performed all over the world really, and she is a celebrity in her own right. And I'm excited to introduce and welcome to the studio the beautiful, the talented, the multi-talented actually, Chiros. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting
I
me.
mean, it takes a lot to bring out someone like you, so I feel honored.
Oh, really? No,
I
no,
will
no,
write my
no.
auto.
No, no,
I would
no,
like
no.
you to
No,
sign
no.
on my body later. But it's exciting to have you. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you've been all over
Thank
the
you.
world, and you've been doing a lot. Thank you, and congratulations on following up on your dreams.
Yeah.
How has the industry been?
Well, it's not easy, as a female artist, because I think, people think, or rather, is what it is, a man's word, and it's not really easy, to be honest with you. And this is like my 2 years in the industry,
So
and
just 2 years.
yes, and
You're
also
not one of the people that are claiming that, oh yeah, I started in my mother's
no. It's just 2 years, and it's very hard. But just I'm someone that is very strong-willed, and I don't really let the challenges of the industry affect me. So
In 2 years, you have done so much. What would you say is the reason for your expedited growth? Unlike others who will say, I had to sing in Ajegunle, I did this, and it seemed like a longer story for them.
it's something. Music is something that I have love for, and I was, formerly a politician because I served under the governor of Anambra State for 5 years. So after that, and this is something that I love to do. So
Obiano.
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Obiano, yes. So I was an SA, one of the youngest SA to him. So yeah, so I was an SA for like 6 years, and then after that, I didn't really go further because I know that music is something I wanted to do. So I just left the whole thing. So for something that I left politics for, I have to give my all.
Your everything.
Yes, my everything. Yeah.
Okay. So there is this seemingly international acceptance
Okay.
of the Nigerian industry.
Yeah, it's of course.
Yes. So
Yes.
when you travel and you get to sing, I know it's electric.
Yeah.
But how's the reception like so far?
It's actually nice because Afrobeat is really big now, especially on international level. It's really, really big, and I must say, it's overwhelming, when you come out there and then the crowds and all that. And like the last show I went to, because I was invited to open for Flavor at his sold out concert in Ove Arena, London. So I opened for him, and then I was surprisingly, because when I came out and they're like, "Oh, she rose," and everyone like shouts, and I was like, "Okay," because when I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, okay." No, and when I was like singing and they were like vibing to the stuff, 'cause I have the video and everything, and I was like, "Wow, that's nice." Like I didn't expect that, but like so that means we are going up. Afrobeat is like there already, so yeah.
What would you say for others listening to you right now who have the talent, young people like yourself who have the talent, but have setbacks? What would your advice be?
I think I always say this, whenever I am invited, I always tell people that is your target audience. You really need to know your target audience, because your target audience determines how far you're going to go, especially this music stuff thing. So the thing is, first you have to know your market target. So if you're staying in Lagos, as for example, Lagos is like the hub of Afrobeat, so it's easy to be like, the competition is high, but still it's easy to like be out there. But like if you stay, like if you live here like in Abuja and then you're doing music, I always advise them that know the kind of music you want to do. If you're based here and you don't have any
Right.
plans of even maybe relocating. I lived here for 3 years before I moved to Lagos, because I know that I wanted to like have a lot of things like that. So if you're going to be living here and you're doing music, you should like probably know your target audience and then do more of classical that way, because a lot of, because it's a business space. Yes, it's more of politicians and business minded people and the kind of songs you're going to do if you want to be invited for shows and all that. I just feel like from my own perspective, because that's what I did. So yeah.
Wow.
Generally,
I often interview artists like this who tell you Abuja no get joy. You do a concert and
nobody shows.
yeah, and a lot of people don't show up. The people who show up are just family and friends that are like, finish up, we need to go. We just want to
I
go.
experienced that. That's what I'm
Right.
saying, because I lived here and then my first show I had like 15 people, that came for the concert. Only 15, and that 15, like, from my side,
family and friends.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But that did not stop me. Then I had to, like, okay, this is my target, and I know the kind of song I want to be doing. When I changed that, I came here last year, and then I did a sold out show in the same Abuja. Yes, so I was sold out. Like, the whole place was filled up. It was sold out. I had, like, sponsors. I had people. The tickets were like 2 million and it was sold
and
out.
People paid.
Yes, of course. So. So you see, it's the same Abuja. You just have to know your target audience and know the kind of music you want to
do. The product itself to the Abuja audience.
It helps to, yeah.
So what would you say the future is for you?
Okay, so I have a lot of things I'm working on right now. I've already released my album last year, and then
congratulations on that.
Thank you. So I have another show coming up July. It's every year, the Abuja stuff, like News with Churros is yearly every July. So we're working on that, and then after that I have like overseas concerts that I will be invited to, like carnivals in London and the rest of it. So like kind of booked and busy.
So I'm tempted to ask, as a woman,
okay.
I'm tempted to ask, I mean, how has it been in the industry as a woman? I've had a lot of people who say sometimes I project a man in my team so that negotiations are done by the man, because immediately as a woman that I show up undermined. Is it experiences you have had as well?
Oh yeah, everything is not just about music. I mean, women in general, anything, anything you're doing in life, any space you find yourself as a woman, we are always, approached and all that. But so the best way, or for me, what I did was to have my own record label.
Oh, right.
Yes. Yeah.
You cannot shout.
Yes, I can't. Yes, because most of the time, when you even put a man, at the front, because they're the ones that are doing everything for you, they're like, oh, you have to do this, you have to see this person, But because I own the record label, so I'm the one that gives them or tells them what to do. So I'm not being forced to like meet people I don't want to meet or something like that. So it's kind of different from me, because I already know how this thing works. So I had to like cut those things before I even started. So I guess that's why.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
How about harassment that often comes? I mean, you're a beautiful woman. I should expect that immediately you're out there, more attention is on you.
Yes, that is why I say that even with the harassment, but since like I'm the CEO, so it's limited, because even when the people that works for me, like my manager or anybody, like when you meet them, like, oh, I want to see her, you're like, she's gonna have the final say,
right?
So if she says yes, that's it. If she says no, because there is no other person that will force her.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I'm still left with saying no.
Or yes.
No, or yes.
Or yes, if you want to.
Yes, or you just talk to,
talk to my team.
Yeah.
Let my people meet your people.
Yes, and that's what I do most of the time. And when you talk to them, you're thinking there is someone else that will force me.
Yeah.
They'll not tell you, oh no, she's the one. She, yeah.
But there are a lot of young people who do not start from that level in the industry, who just plunge themselves from the beginning and have to start. What would your advice be, knowing the industry as you know it?
Yes, that's still, is the problem there is when you are too forward. A lot of, sorry to say this, but a lot of upcoming artists, I'm still an upcoming too, but no, they are.
Right.
Yes.
You guys.
No, I'm serious. I'm still upcoming, but they are too quick. They want to be out there. They want to
in a minute, right?
Yes, in a minute. They don't want to do the work, or they just want to relax. I just want to get signed. I want to blow, and then they sign things that are not good for them, and then at the end of the day, it backfires. And then the ones, I always tell people that, one of my friends called me, like, oh, my sister wants to go into music, she's a fan. I say, yeah, now social media is big. So you don't really need a record label or anybody right now. You can do your music, put it on TikTok. You can do 100 videos a day. And before you know, pushes you out there. Before you know, even before they will come to you, you're already there. Yes. So
but my question would be, with the advent of TikTok, with the advent of streaming music platforms, I often wonder, how do you make money? I mean, the only thing I think of is, because there is the internet and tech that exposes you, now you are sought after for content. But beyond concerts, are you able to make money online? Have you ever been able to leverage on the online platforms?
Yeah, kind of. Well, okay, sometimes when I'm live on TikTok, kind of, for example, so I have.
By the way, I want to know when you're live.
No,
I want to know when you're live.
When I'm live on TikTok, so people like sending me gifts. I like them sending gifts and all that, and these gifts are like when you change it's like money, yeah. So, but I then kind of like sometimes it's like competitive. It's like oh, this person is your number one, and after sending you a gift, they will not come to your DM, and then expecting you to
because you have to appreciate.
Yes. So most of the time I'll be like, okay, do you know what? I don't want gifts because and some people are really pushy and they'll be like, oh, I just sent you should give me your number. Why are you not talking to me? After I collected, I didn't force you. You gave me this gift, and then for the end of the day, it's like as if you need to answer them. So most of I just stopped my TikTok live for a very, very long time because of the whole thing. And people like, oh, I used to give. And people are really. Fans are like
very fans. They don't hold their vision.
I'm telling you. So I saw the whole thing to turn to hate. At the end of the day, I just try to limit it, make sure that that's it. Yeah, but you can make money online through like endorsement, advertisements for people. Okay, like if you have like
so in the music of it has not started making you money. The music of it, the celebrity is making you money.
Yes.
But the music of it is not.
Like bad streams.
Okay.
No, because you need like you don't pay Nigerians. Because of the country we are in. So even a million streams get to I don't think it's up to $100.
Wow.
Yes, so you need so that's just it. So if you cannot just depend on the streams for now, but you can make money through different means, but like not just stream because of the way we are. So.
Well, for some people like me who would say go back on that life, let us be making the money. I just want the money. No. I will be handling your DMs.
No, actually I don't even handle my I have people that
and it still gets to you. If I handle listen, if I handle your DMs, you
yeah.
But it's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
What's right next for you at the moment?
One, I'm trying to do a lot of collabs.
Okay.
I think it really helps, especially if you want to be known all over. So I'm trying to get 2 collabs and all.
So who would you say in the industry is your crush?
What? Okay, Whiskey.
Everybody listen up. Listen up when you see her in the same room
with
Whiskey.
Actually. No, no, actually Whiskey. No, I'm really a big fan of Whiskey, kind of. For 15 years. It's like my first crush, actually.
Right.
Yes.
Way before you knew you would get to this place in your career?
I think I would say Whiskey is the reason why I wanted to do music.
Does Whiskey know that? No. Whiskey needs to hear this.
That's before. He was
he really needs to hear this.
No. He was I wanted to because I felt it's through music that I'm going to be able to see him. Because he was really big then, 15 years ago. He's still big now, very big now, but
you really wanted to.
Yeah, I want to see Whiskey, and then I'm okay, yeah, I want to be able to afford this concert and all that. But, but still, you're okay, yeah, that's my first crush. Okay, bye.
So in the industry, who's the woman in the industry that you admire? Not just the music, but the persona and everything.
I think Thames.
Okay.
Thames, for Nigeria, she has really done a lot for herself, and she, apart from the music, business wise and all that, she's just out there. And then I just love everything about her personality, her fashion sense, everything about them is really nice. And then in international level, of course, Rihanna. Rihanna is the number one. Since I was 10, Rihanna.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah.
Okay. Well, for a young girl that's listening to you, because we've run out of time. A young girl listening to you, thinking, that's who exactly I want to be. I want to be able to get into this music industry and be able to sell out tickets and be able to travel around the world and do what I love doing, performing. What would your advice be to her?
Well, my advice is that first of all, you need to have a strong will. That just it. Because if you love something, you should be ready to sacrifice a lot of things, your time, sometimes, and it's mentally draining. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you because a lot of times you're gonna be depressed, but it's still part of the process. So don't feel like, when you're passing through all these things, feel like yes, I'm on the right track. But it's not going to be easy. But at the end of the day, you're going to be happy and you're going to feel like yes, I'm happy that I did not give up. Just like me. So don't give up.
Do not
Yeah,
give
do
up.
not
That's,
give up.
that's a beautiful one. We've been
Yeah.
hanging out. I'm beginning to use the entertainment term right now. After talking a lot of politics before,
Yeah.
we've been hanging out with Chiros. She's a music artist. And her real name
So they have all my names.
hold on.
They have all my names.
Her village name is Chinyere.
Chinenye.
Oh, Chinenye Igwa.
Rose.
Igwa Rose, yeah.
Yes.
She Rose for short. But thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you for
It's been
having
wonderful
me.
hanging out with you. And as always, when I see ladies do what they love doing, it's electric. I'm motivated to go into the studio.
You should. I can invite you for my next section, my studio
please.
section.
Oh,
Please, you need to come.
Even if I have to say, hey, that should do. Thank you so much for being part of the program. I've had a wonderful time. But it's time for agriculture for today and tomorrow. That's a very important segment that gives us information around what you need to know all around the agricultural sector, how to contribute to Nigeria's food security. We'll be back after that.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, where we promote smart solutions for greener harvests. Here we try to ensure that we support the food security plan that is being developed in Nigeria. And how do we do that? By encouraging private individuals, farmers, and every other person to adopt sustainable practices, which has been agreed globally all over the world as the solution to food insecurity in Nigeria. Today we are going to be talking about how to implement biosecurity in the farm, and this is the second episode, part 2. Remember, we had started that in our last episode, how to develop a biosecurity plan, and we are going to be continuing from there. In the first episode we had established what biosecurity is and why it is relevant that every farm should set up a biosecurity plan. now we have started the series on how to actually do it, because that is what we do here. Teach and ensure that biosecurity, teach and ensure that sustainable agricultural practices are being carried out, are being taught, and are being implemented. So let us go right into it, so that to ensure that we maximize the time. So we continue on our the plan for biosecurity. So how do you get the number? So we enter number 4. We go into number 4 now. Hygiene and sanitation. Hygiene and sanitation are key and integral parts of biosecurity in the farm, because if you allow your farmers to walk around in dirty clothes, and remember, this has been the former cultural norm, where if you are a farmer, you believe you have the excuse to be dirty. You see people leave their farms after doing ridges, after doing heaps, and they walk into the road going back home, and they are justified in their minds that they have a very justifiable reason to be dirty. But unfortunately, in sustainable agricultural practices, dirtiness is not part of agriculture. Hygiene is very, very key to ensure and keep a safe and healthy farm, and it is one of the key components of biosecurity. So regularly clean and disinfect animal housing, feeding equipment, and vehicles. Hand washing stations should be installed in all key locations in the farm. Safely dispose of manure and organic wastes to prevent contamination. You understand that in the farm, by the time you use your hoe in one region, for example, if you were farming, doing weeding or whatever farm operations you were doing in one plot of land, and let us say that that plot of land was infested by nematode. Nematode is a major pest in the soil that attacks the roots of most crops. By the time you carry that same hoe to another portion of the farm that does not have nematode, without washing, cleaning, and disinfecting, you have successfully introduced nematode on the other part of the soil. It is important that you set up and establish a routine where for every demarcated plot in your farm, after work has been done, farm implements, farm machinery, workers should clean up themselves, disinfect themselves before they go into another place, meaning that in your farm there should be no cross-walking. If you come in the morning and 2 workers are assigned to work in plot A, 2 workers are assigned to work in plot B, on no condition should plot A worker be walking into plot B just to go and greet his friend, just to go and gist. During break time, they can all have a central break period, a central break location, breaking area, resting area, where they can sit. And of course, during working time, they minimize contact amongst themselves. When they are done, they should be going back to their plot. And for every exit and entry, there should be some degree of cleanliness or re-immunization, if I must use that word, back into the field. So it is important. Hygiene is very, very important, because by the time you use clothes that have carried some infestation from the farm, from other parts of the farm, remember, flood brings flood water, air, wind brings things from different various locations, and we keep on using these different things. And like I mentioned last time, people use gutter water to mix their chemicals and spray. You are not aware of what has been dead, what animal has died in the water, or what chemical has been poured in the water, or what contamination is available in that water, and we use it to spray on our food, the food items we eat. And most times you notice people even spray this 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 days to harvest, effectively allowing that contamination to remain in the crop that they are harvesting. And mind you, it is not all chemicals that easily wear off. You say, oh, don't worry, as they are growing, it will wear off. There are some chemicals that maintain traces of the contamination even 1 month after spraying. So it is important that we fix up hygiene. Talking about feed and water safety, I've already made a mention of water here, the kind of water we use, where we ensure that we also use clean water to do operations in our farm. The fact that you are spraying it on the crops does not mean that the source of that water does not matter. The fact that you are using it to wash harvested crops does not mean that the source of that water, people fetch water, maybe it was raining and then there is a puddle of water on the ground, they fetch it and use it to wash, or use it to wash their farming implements. This water most likely is washed out from the topsoil of another environment. It could be washed away from a mechanic environment where grease, where engine oil and all form of metallic contaminants have been infested on that ground, and then water washes off from there, pools in front of your farm, and you use it to wash your farm equipment. You use it to spray on your farm equipment or on the crops, and then effectively causing contaminant. And because there is no random spotting check for our farmers, these things go into the field, and in fact, the moment they go into the open market, you're not able to trace, because we do not even have traceability in our farms. Now, water storage, feed storage, water quality, these are also key important components of our biosecurity plan in the farm. How do you store your feed? Do you store them in places that are wet? Do you store them in places that rain can have access to them? Do you store them in places that pests and rats have infested? And then rats, after eating in different places, rats are vectors. Rats carry diseases, and then they begin to nibble on your feed, the feed that you use to feed your animals in the farm, effectively crossing saliva, effectively crossing bodily fluids. And sometimes you even kill these rats, and you're not careful the way you kill them. You kill them and spill their blood, maybe because of the method you use, knife, you use stick to hit on it, their blood spills in the storage place, and then nobody actually intensely cleans this with disinfectants. And then you drag your feed, you spread your feed on that same ground, and then you pack it to go and feed other animals. Biosecurity entails that there has to be a plan for cleaning your storage facilities, whether you are storing inputs, you're storing feeds, you're storing tools, whatever you're storing. It is important that you make sure that your storage environment remains clean, constantly, routinely disinfected, to ensure that there is no transfer of diseases, of vectors, of pests from one part of the farm to the other. And then finally, we'll also talk about pests and wildlife control. Now, pest management is very, very important. There is actually, as part of biosecurity measures, there is what we call integrated pest management. Now, most farmers are very quick to always use chemicals. There is snake in your farm, you want to spray chemicals. There are birds are attacking your farm, you're looking for chemicals to spray. Rats are attacking your farm, you're looking for chemicals to spray. Flies are in your farm, you're looking for chemicals to spray. Sometimes these things are in your farm not necessarily because of your crop. Them eating or ravaging on your crop could be a byproduct of something else in your farm. Have you gone to trace, are there dead animals that are attracting this? Or, for example, if you get to see so many snakes in your farm, is there a place where frogs, is there a place where the things that snakes eat, is it close by? That is what you should attack, and that is what will reduce the number of snakes. Or in fact, is there a snake habitat around there? So most times the use of chemicals are not usually the solution to pest invasions in your farm. You must find other biological means. It could be relocation of those things. If there is anything that is dragging, if there is a pit where there are frogs, you close that pit that is attracting some of the pests that are in your farm. You close that pit. Now, if it is because of your crops, you also find other biological methods. There are pheromone traps. There are different types of traps there are sticky traps that could be used to reduce the pests affecting your farm. Chemicals most times should be the last resort when there is a serious infestation and other means have proven unuseful. So, wildlife exclusion. It is important that we also, so that we do not force ourselves to get to kill, because most times when we go into forests, thick forests, bushes, to go and turn them into farms, we forget that these were habitats, these were dwelling places of other animals. So the moment we begin to set up our farm, it's also good we set up perimeter fencing, we erect barriers that will stop wildlife from coming into our farms and introducing different kinds of diseases or different kind of pests or different kind of organisms that were not around that farm. Because after a while, after 1 year, 2 years, it is expected that you would have conditioned your farm and you would have had only the beneficial organisms in your farm. What are beneficial organisms? We have worms, crickets. These are beneficial organisms that help to burrow the soil and create air in the soil. So it is important that we do that to ensure that we do not, in the process of managing pests, actually eliminate the important and the useful organisms that are helping our soil to open up, helping our soils to grow and become nutritious. That is all we'll be taking on this episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow. And I remain Daniel Black, your host as always. It is always exciting to share this knowledge, share this information with you. In the next episode, we'll be doing the closing episode for how to develop a food safety, a biosecurity plan in your farm. Thank you so much. Join us on social media as we continue these conversations. Do you know any other way of managing your feed, managing your hygiene, and managing pests in the farm? Drop it in the comment section on social media, and this conversation will continue. See you in the next episode.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV. Start times. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV. Start times, channel 127, or YouTube livestream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow team for giving us once again those very important tips. But this is where we end today's show. Rest assured, we'll be back tomorrow with so much more, like information from the newspapers, analysis of what's going on around the world, not to mention that tomorrow we'll be having sustainability pulse. So we'll be talking about the environment, talking about the climate and